Mele Joseph. I am the bridegroom of this Turkana cultural wedding. I am celebrating this wedding in the 21st century. A ceremony that was done under the same setting thousands and thousands years ago. As it is said, culture is dynamic, and there are elements of this cultural ceremony that may not be the same as was done by my grandpa. So I'm doing it aware that I'm doing it in the 21st century as a person who has gone to school, but nonetheless I am obligated to the adherence of all that the Turkana culture places before me. Now, being the groom at a time when there is a revival of a Turkana cultural wedding, because I can attest to the fact that 1 or 2 decades ago the same practice had diminished, especially in the central parts of Turkana, because it is a matter of reality that aridity is more real in the central part of Turkana, and so is the scarcity of livestock. So this ceremony as the epicenter of it. Exchange of livestock, the feast, the ceremony is entirely on livestock. So plentiful availability of livestock, would make everybody go for it. But I'm doing it at a time when there's a revival, as I've said there earlier. But then I know there are the impediments that exist in the culture that has made people shy off. Especially there are rites within this cultural ceremony that is antagonistic to those that believe in the Christian faith. And I am a believer. I believe in Christ Jesus. I'm born again, essentially. But then the issue is correlation of the Turkana culture and the faith for a long time has been a thorn in the flesh.
The Turkana people are special people, very colorful people. Look at their dresses and you'll see for sure they're extremely colorful. But one thing that I would like to tell the Turkana people is that do not be hoodwinked to abandon your culture. Many other societies that have been hoodwinked to abandon their cultures are wallowing in confusion.
Now, there is a deviation, I can attest to this, where the issue of being smeared okia and the intestinal products of an animal that is slaughtered in what we call the bull, or rather ekumai. Ekumai is any major animal. For our case, we've done a camel instead of a bull. But that can be done interchangeably in the event that, by the way, our culture places more value on a camel than a cow. So when you do a camel, that is rated higher, and the cultural value is equally high. That notwithstanding, the message I would want to send to our youngsters of the 21st century is that we cannot be enslaved by the Western culture. when we subscribe to our motherland
Turkana County. This is, I attended one of my colleagues' wedding, and it was a wedding, a traditional wedding, a Turkana traditional wedding. One of the things I've really respected and found unique about this, it is the unity of purpose that the Turkana community have as a people. They are very united. They have a vision. They know what it is that they're doing, and then they are so generous. And meat is not, when it comes to food and all that, they don't fight for it. And they all have fun. There is no high class or this class, I don't know how to put it, this class or this. They are all
I wedded in a church some decades ago, but then I was haunted by the culture of the Turkana people, the culture that I derive my identity from. So I had to fulfill it, and at a time when a revival of the same is seen and is widespread within Turkana.
Nafurahia vile imefaa kitamaduni yetu, sababu hii kitamaduni ni kitamaduni ya ukweli. Hii ndio harusi ya ukweli. Watu wangu wamekula
It's very interesting, the traditional dancing of Turkana. It's very interesting. So I'm very happy to attend this.
So mine is, it's doable. We can do it under a dynamized culture. We don't necessarily have to do it the way our ancient parents did it. We can do it our own way, but nonetheless maintain the basic tenets of the Turkana culture. So my message is very clear, that you don't need to be so wealthy. You don't need to have so many livestock. All you need to know is what is the basic culture.
The other thing is that they are a very generous community. They are very generous people. They value their culture. They value. There is nothing you'll find even a pastor getting involved. And that is what we are. That we should love one another, and we should. The women know their purpose, what it is. We are fighting for the third gender, but when it comes to Turkana community, I think we
and then maintain it to your very own ability. The other thing, the Turkana culture has it very clear that marriage is not a one-man's show. Your friends, your immediate relatives, your clansmen can join your hand and you marry. All you need is to create that unity and rapport among people who can support you and you do it.
And the Turkana people being very special in the whole world in terms of living in the cradle of mankind and being really the community that seems to have given the world all the people who belong to this world is a special culture, a special community.
They are one community, and I wish as Kenyans we can learn the unity of purpose among the.
In other words, this to me is a very significant move in making sure that the world understands the culture of the Turkana people in relation to marriage.
Their culture is quite different from the culture in Ukambani. They keep animals like camels, which are not even in Ukambani. And here for a man to prove that he is really married in a homestead, he has to kill a bull by his own hand using a spear. So their culture is and I think I want to congratulate the Turkana people, for preserving their culture and heritage. It's a great wealth to our country. So I want to be back and witness more of these traditional weddings in Turkana. It was a good event.
It's quite different from what we see in Central. In fact, in Central we might talk about bringing cows and goats, but we don't actually do that. We convert that into monetary value. But here, if it's camels or goats, you have to bring them physically. So that's a marked difference from what I see in Central. Otherwise, this is a good experience for us. And I hope when we go back home, we can ape what they do to maintain our
The Daktari's matrimonial event. Nasikia tu tumefurahi sana kuwitness, na kwa daktari nasema ni pongezi kwa kupitia jambo kama hili la kimila, kwa sababu ingekuwa vizuri sana kwamba tuweze kuwa na mila yetu ili isiweze kupotea. We reserve our culture. We are looking forward for more occasions like this.
So my clarion call is this: let every young man, every married Turkana man who is still lacking behind, come and fulfill this very vital Turkana cultural event. Thank you very much.